back. We've been in Melbourne now for a week exactly. This is our first full week, right?
Our first? Are we doing a second full week?
We might do.
In Melbourne.
We
okay.
might be staying
I'm
longer.
willing
Who
to
knows?
stay. I'm definitely willing to stay.
So what we've been doing this week is we've spent the first few days doing more touristy stuff, just checking out Port Melbourne. We went to Yarra Valley, we've been sharing those videos, and then I was working for a few days whilst. And what have you been up to?
Just jiu-jitsu. That's all I do now. I brought my gi with me. I didn't bring my no-gi stuff, but I ended up doing no-gi because it's been super fun.
Which is not too dissimilar to how we live at home in terms of
we
me going
eat,
to work, we
work out.
we find things to do, you work out, and then for the last few days I've been working. So it's really given us a chance to really see and feel how it would be to live in Melbourne.
Which we are going to do a summary video, which will just cover off how we see Melbourne versus London, although we lived in Kent, but I grew up in London, versus Las Vegas. And we know they're not comparable cities, but they are cities and places that people really want to live in. So we've experienced, well, a few years in Vegas, but at least a week of pretending to live here. So we feel like we're in a place where we can compare it.
But you're probably wondering, where are we at right now?
They're probably not, but we're going to tell you
We're
anyway.
going to tell you anyway. So I've got a day off today, and we were looking for places that we could go that were about an hour away from Melbourne, and we found a place called, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, Dandenong Ranges.
Australian words are particularly challenging.
Like Welsh words.
Yeah, they are very similar.
Can't pronounce them. But when I was looking up this place, it's a very, how would you describe it?
It's basically a forest with homes in the middle.
Imagine
for the
Fern
people,
Gully,
I don't know what that is.
the cartoon.
I have no idea.
From what I understand, you can come here and you can bring your bike, you can go cycling. It's a really nice place to go hiking and essentially just enjoy the views. But when I was looking up this area, I found what is called Puffing Billy Railway. It is a steam train that was built in 1900, and they have kept the original track and the main stations.
I think so. Yeah.
Essentially.
I think that's what it is.
The
I
route
think
that
they've
it used to take.
they've had to rebuild some of it because it's had landslides 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and it's become a bit of a historical landmark, and essentially as a tourist or local you can book to go on one of these trips, and you can say there's particular trips that you can do, and today we did the Belgrave to Lakeside, which is where we're at now.
So the way it seems to work is when you go to book your ticket, there's multiple options of the stops. So where you start from and where you end your tour, there's multiple options. So you can come to where we are, which is Lakeside, but then you can go further on another, how many miles? Like 5, 6, 7, 8 miles along the track.
They're all of varying lengths. So this one in total, I think the entire trip is 4 hours. There's another one that's 5 hours. There's another one that's shorter, that's 3 hours. But the trips that are available are very much dependent on the day of the week and
availability. But the one that we've picked is actually very nice. We haven't really had time to explore, but when it drops you off, there's an area that has a huge cafe restaurant area here. You can also go for a hike, so it's kind of in the middle of the woods.
And you get a good hour, you get a full hour.
Yeah, you get a full hour, although we took about, it's freezing today, which we'll come on to. I think we took half an hour just sitting in there eating scones, tea, jam.
It's very well organised, I would say, the whole thing. So when you get to the original station, they expect you to be there at least an hour before to check in. You don't have to. I would say anything from 45 minutes is fine. We went and got some food. The actual place has no parking, but the area of the town, there's lots of places, a car park, side streets where you can park, and then you literally just board at the time. And they say that you should be boarding before time, but we saw people coming at literally the exact time and they allow them to get on. When you actually board the train, on your ticket, it will tell you what carriage you are supposed to be on. You'll go to that carriage and essentially you'll find an area to sit. The fun thing about this train ride in particular is that there's normal seats inside the carriage, but you can actually sit on the windowsill. Is that right?
Yeah, it is the windowsill, yeah.
And essentially your legs are hanging outside the carriage, which is apparently what the traditional way that they used to do. I don't know. Making that up. thing.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
It seems like they built that more for the tourists, because I can't remember, because they were working trains, weren't they?
Yeah.
They carried mixed goods and stuff like that, so I would
Maybe if it
imagine
was
most of
super
them are
busy,
closed in.
Some people had to sit on this edge, maybe. I don't know.
You'd probably sit on top of the train.
When you get to Lakeside, we've mentioned that you can eat here, and we had some scones, then you can wander about for a bit, and there's a lake behind us which we didn't actually get to explore because we spent so much time indoors and then chatting to a random
Yeah.
as well. And in terms of the price, it was 62 Australian dollars each, but also what you can do when you book your ticket is also pre-order food. So we pre-ordered scones, which I think were $12 each. Was that right? Or is it 20?
I think it was 29 the total with the coffees.
$12 each. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah. Once you get here, you can just buy it for the same price anyway, so I don't know why you need to pre-book. And also, towards the end of the service, they reduced the hot food down by 50%.
Yeah. So you don't have to pre-book anything.
Yeah, you're not
You
really
can just
losing
wait till
anything.
you get here and then pick what you want.
I think it's a trip for 60 something Australian dollars. It's well worth doing, even if you only do the bit that we've done. I think it'd equally be fun to do the one that's further out if you have a lot more time, because I think it's another hour or 2 hours.
And if the weather's really nice, you can bring a swimsuit and go swimming in the lake as well. And it's just a really nice area to enjoy without... It's easy. You get on a train and you get to see all the views without having to hike, which Ant hates.
I don't mind in this sort of area. However, I would say the weather's probably very unlikely to be nice. We had one day in 7
So
where the
don't
weather's
bank
been
on
good.
the weather being good.
I'm fairly confident it's worse than England.
But highly recommend, if you come to Melbourne, hire a car for the day, drive out here and do the Puffing Billy Railway.